Thank you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mighty Blaze. I am Jenna Blum, one of the co-founders of The Blaze, here today with my sister co-founder, Caroline Leavitt, who I so rarely get to see but love so much. And our special guests, Mary Weber O'Malley and Pam French. Pam is the CEO of Binc. That is why we are all here today. And Mary is the program coordinator at Binc and also the bookseller at large for Skylark Books and an all-around amazing lit citizen. I am going to do a tiny commercial for The Blaze, and then we're going to start talking more about Binc and how it helps booksellers and bookstores everywhere. So The Blaze is an organization that was founded during COVID to link writers and readers during the pandemic when COVID was canceling in-person book tours. 6 years later, we are still going strong, bringing you your favorite authors and your favorite book people to your living room so you can learn everything lit without even having to put on pants. If you like what you see here, please give us a like or a follow on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, where our literary library going back to 2020 is archived forever. And on Substack and on TikTok and on Twitter, which we refuse to call X, we are ubiquitous. Again, if you like what you see, please consider signing up for our newsletter at www.mightyblaze.com. So you'll never have literary FOMO ever again. No more FOMO. Nobody likes that. And just a special little shout out of joy, Blaze is going to be 6 years old on March 10th. So thank you to everybody who has created this platform, kept it going, kept it glowing. Thank you to everybody who's watching for bringing your light to The Blaze. If you're a repeat Blazer, welcome back. If you're new here, we hope you join us for all of our interviews. And with that, I'm going to hand the mic to Caroline to take it away. And let's start talking about Binc.
Thank you so much, Jenna. I'm so thrilled to be here with Mary and Pam and my Mighty Blaze sister, Jenna Blum. We are thrilled to have you here talking about Binc, which is an amazing, amazing, amazing organization. We understand that Binc, which stands for Book Industry Charitable Foundation, is celebrating 30 years of caring for book people this year. That's amazing. That's totally amazing. And congratulations. So can you please talk about for us how Binc came to be in the whole organization?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much for having us, and congratulations on your 6 years. That's pretty amazing achievement, especially through the pandemic. But we're celebrating 30 years. The foundation started back in 1996, and we're the only nonprofit in the country that's dedicated to assisting book and comic people when they have some type of a financial crisis. So we started when one bookseller from our roots are with Borders Bookshops, if you remember Borders Bookshops. Those employees wanted to help some employees on the other side of the country. And at that point in time, the foundation was created almost as an internal United Way for Borders employees. At the time that Borders liquidated, I was the head of the foundation. And we decided with our amazing board of directors that if our mission was being fulfilled at Borders, that we should take it nationwide. So in 2012, that's exactly what we did. We decided to give it a go. Literally, that's what we said. Let's give this a go and see if we can't expand our mission nationwide to help anybody in a brick and mortar bookshop when they're having some type of a financial crisis. So with that, we have helped over 12,000 people get back up on their feet with over $14 million in assistance. We also do scholarships and professional scholarships. We are very passionate about making sure that book people are able to stay in the industry that they love. So we've given over almost 1,100 scholarships. And I'll talk more about it later, but one of our most important programs we have is for mental health wellness referrals. And we just started that program in 2022, but we've already had over 950 referrals for that program. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. We provide emergency grants to stabilize households. We've all been in the position where something has happened in our life And it just takes that one little thing to kind of tip the scale, and everything is out of balance. And we are here as an organization supported by people who love books and reading and love bookstores in their community, to help those individuals, bookstore owners, booksellers get back up on their feet as well.
Before Jenna takes the next question, I have a question for you. Can you give me an example of like what a scholarship would be for?
Yeah, it's a great question. So last week we were actually at an industry event called Winter Institute for the American Booksellers Association. Great event. And we sponsored scholarships to attend that industry event, an education event. There's also the regional shows that happen in the fall for the regional book trade associations, and we provide scholarships to those as well. Mary actually manages our scholarships for us, so we're excited that she's here. There's a couple of other scholarships as well, but those are two of the long-running areas of scholarships that we provide.
And these are primarily for bookstores or bookstore owners or authors?
The scholarships are for book people. Those particular ones are for bookstore owners or booksellers. We also provide and help the comic industry. So the week before last, we provided scholarships to the equivalent conference for comic individuals called Comics Pro. So we had scholarships to that as well.
It's amazing. Jenna.
This is making me wish I had stayed a bookseller. I used to work at a Borders. I helped found a Borders in Richfield, Minnesota, which was a flagship store. And I was 27 running the length of this huge store in platform heels because it was like 1993 every day. It was the greatest job. And I honestly would have stayed in that store and been on the GM track, except then I finally bludgeoned my way into grad school and they finally accepted me. But otherwise, I would have been there. I would have been on the bookseller team, and I really loved it. I loved it so much. So thank you for the assistance that you're providing to the booksellers and the bookstores. I'm curious if we can get a little bit more granular, and what is like an example of maybe helping one bookseller that like really stands out to you, that if somebody came to you in need, like something the audience might not expect?
Might not expect. So the two qualifying events, we call them qualifying events. So these are those situations that happen in all of our lives that kind of throw our financial stability out of whack. Are things that happen around housing stability and medical expenses. So let's say somebody might have a medical expense and it's more than they expected. There's a lot of prepaid medical expenses these days that are kind of surprises. When something like that happens, sometimes people are able to make those payments and sometimes they have to delay treatment. So we are here to help them step in so that they don't have to delay their treatment and they can actually get the care that they need. We also help in case somebody needs to be able to find, let's say, maybe new housing, maybe a roommate or a partner leaves and they need to have more financially balanced budget. So we're able to help them find housing that fits their new budget as well. We also do, and I'll say this, and then we also help a lot with dental. Not a lot of people understand that medical covers dental as well. So dental can be very expensive. If anybody's ever had a cap or a crown or needed a root canal, I have, unfortunately, as well. And it's painful. It can really distract you, but that's one of the things that we really can help with. It falls under major medical expense as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I wish that you guys could do this for like everybody, like life, like authors. Authors need you. I'm like, authors, we have medical expenses. I need like 15 crowns that I have decided to put off because I just think, no, I'm just not doing that. It's too expensive. Also,
it is very expensive. It really is. It truly is. So, but we also so one of the things that we do have on our website are a list of resources. And I think this is one of the things that are even underutilized with every grant that we provide. And when we provide a grant, we pay the provider directly. So it might be the dentist, the doctor, the funeral home, the landlord. But with that, we also provide resources for that individual's community in case they need, maybe they have food instability. So we have an incredible list of resources that Mary and Judy, our program manager, provide to them so that we can provide to them a whole package of these wraparound services, because we understand, and we are incredibly fortunate because of the support we do get. We don't want to just put a Band-Aid on that situation. We want to be able to help resolve the situation and stabilize that household. So we are able to, because of the way we're set up as a 501c3, we're able to look at it longer term and provide not only that immediate assistance, but also resources for down the road, so that they can ensure that the solution is that there's actually a true solution and it's not just a Band-Aid to it as well.
That is astonishing. I love that you guys are doing this. Thank you for this on behalf of the booksellers and people who are really struggling with those big expenses that come out of the blue. Like suddenly you don't have a home or a tooth, or you have some awful like it's not bad enough to have those things happen, then you have to figure out how to pay for it. Can you tell us in a corresponding way, what kind of assistance do you provide to bookstores as opposed to individuals?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. So we are also able to help bookstores when there's some type of a man-made or natural disaster. And these are very specific reasons that we can help stores. So we helped last year, we kicked off the year, unfortunately, with the wildfires in Southern California. And then in the fall of 2024, there were the hurricanes in North Carolina. So in those instances, we are able to help the store as well get back up on their feet. We can help to make sure that the store is able to potentially put the remaining stock in storage, or we're able to help if they need assistance with gathering volunteers before insurance pays off. So we're there typically before insurance is able even to hit the ground. We can try to make sure that that store is able to get back up and running as kind of that heartbeat of their community, because we know it's not only the people who are there and that work there, but they're also such a resource for their community. I mean, we find a lot of times in these situations when there's a community disaster that the bookstores are the places where people come to charge their cell phones, and sometimes even as a food pantry, a lot of them during these times of community and solace when something like that happens.
I want to ask you, what is a qualifying event exactly, and what isn't a qualifying event? I mean, is there ever like something that just doesn't qualify? And in what case, what kind of help do you send them to other organizations?
Yeah, but we do. So thank you. So a qualifying event it is something that is unexpected or an emergency that sets that household finances out of balance. So the types of things that we actually are not allowed to help with from an IRS perspective are like legal fees, tax bills and payments. Those are the types of things. Student loans, we are not able to help or assist with those types of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's the average amount of an average grant?
Yeah. Last year, our average grant actually went up about 12%. So it was about, $274, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're already struggling and you're week to week, that additional amount is a huge amount. So that puts our average grant at just about $2,300. When you think about that, though, $2,300 is able to resolve a situation for an entire family. That is really an effective way for us to help a family get back up on their feet as well.
Binc is like the guardian angels of the book industry. It's amazing to hear this stuff. It's such a spectacularly good-hearted organization. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm surprised more people don't know about this. Like, I'm really glad we're doing this interview. I have been currently on book tour, although this morning I'm in my apartment just momentarily, but I've been passing out these
thank you.
bookmarks that Mary gave me when I saw Mary in Milwaukee, which was so amazing. But I think like every store should know about this. And all the
should know about them.
When I was in my 20s working at that Borders, I would have been happy to try and take advantage of some of this. So I'm curious about where you guys get your support. Is it federal? And then has that shifted at all in the recent sort of reapportioning of federal funds? I'm glad to hear there's been a 12% increase, like thank goodness. But I'm just wondering, is this like now more of a challenge, or are you feeling happily equipped?
Yes, thank you. So we are supported primarily from individuals and organizations, not only throughout the book industry, but book people. Anyone who loves books, literature, comics in their community, that's who supports us. Readers from all spectrums and across the U.S. So I guess luckily we did not receive federal funding. Because that meant that we didn't have to scurry to try to find additional funding when those funds were pulled away this past year. What has happened, unfortunately, though, is all those folks who lost their funding are now scrambling for funding. And so it is a lot more competitive than it was. So the folks that have always given to us, which we're incredibly appreciative of. And there are so many worthwhile organizations out there. The number of organizations we're competing with just went up a bit because funding has been cut across the board. We've also found that some of the funding in places that we do referrals, like domestic violence shelters on the local level, their funding has been cut. So their services are cut, which is very unfortunate. But we have been in the position that we can then help to increase our grant to make sure and ensure a family is safe. But it has impacted our bottom line and our budget. So, but it's everyone. It is everyone from individual booksellers who give on a payroll deduction basis, what we're grateful for, to authors. We have an author creator leadership circle. So any author that donates becomes a part of our author leadership circle. So it could be from $25 to $25,000. Everyone joins. Garth Stein is our ambassador for that at this point in time. Love that. We also do things like the amazing T-shirt that Mary is wearing. This was a special promotion. Sean Harris and Mac Barnett created these special T-shirts. One was a wolf and one was a flamingo. And we had a little bit of a friendly competition to see which T-shirt sold the most. And all the proceeds came back to the foundation. It was a lot of fun. And we're really open to ideas that anybody has for how they could help us. When they're on book tour, Taylor Jenkins Reid did this great promotion last year. Where she got special bookmarks with that QR code. When she was at her events, she pulled them up and asked her fans and folks to say, will you contribute $5? And it was amazing, just her idea, and she led it. So we're open to a lot of ideas.
That's a great thing. Caroline, let me just say one thing, because I just got a text from a bookseller who's watching, and she said, I remember contributing to Binc when I was working at Borders. I missed it, which is so great. And it's helpful for me, sorry to step on you, Caroline, but it's helpful for me to know this as we kind of go out on the road to tell other authors and to tell people at the stores that they can contribute, because I personally came into this interview thinking, oh, this is all federal funding. And knowing that it's like a grassroots thing is so important, because then people can really jump on. So you bet I will be banging the drum for this. The book people are the best people. We are the most supportive people.
Yeah. Very important. Can you give us your website again so I can put it in the chat so people can come and go look? I think it's bincfoundation.org.
It is. You got it right. Okay. So BINC foundation.org. That is
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. That is incredible.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I wanted to know, I was really interested that you also have a mental health wellness program, which is amazing because so often people ignore that. And yet it's so important, especially now because we live in such a terrifying world. Can you tell me how and why you started that and how does it work?
Yeah, no, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. That program is one of our newest programs that was added in 2022. We do an annual survey, and that was just post-pandemic enough that it was the number one requested assistance program. Over 54% of our participants in that survey requested that support. And it was our fastest growing program. We usually do a pilot when we roll out a new program. And usually the pilot is often 12 months. This pilot was 3 months, and we realized that this was something that was urgently needed. Some of the most important things to know about our mental health wellness is there's no financial need required. So anybody working in a bookstore, in a comic shop, owning a bookstore, or a comic shop, they're family members. Anyone who's even bookstore related, they can come to us if they feel that they would benefit from talking to a counselor, mental health support, and they will receive 6 free sessions, completely confidential and private. We just need their email address to set it up. And then after that, we don't know if they take advantage of it or not. We don't get that individual reporting back. We just know the combined numbers. And this is really one of the most important ways I think that we've been able to expand our programming and be able to help booksellers, because there has been so much stress, not only post-pandemic, but when you're looking at the day-to-day challenges that these amazing people in their communities were opening their doors every day to their communities, being resources, and they're there to say hello and answer questions and put the right book in the hands of every person. We're here for them, and we want them to know that we're here for them.
That's incredible. I think, Jenna, I think that what we probably should tell the hosts is maybe when we do our introductions to our interviews, we could also say, and by the way, the Blaze is a proud supporter of Binc.
Yeah.
And could we put that on our website?
Yes, we have a badge that we can give you.
You do have a badge. That's great.
We do, and we'll give it to you. You can put it on your website. We have badges for social media that you can put on your social media as well. We would love that. We would be honored.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We would be honored. So actually, you already answered my next question, Pam, which is how authors can support Binc, which is just basically any way we possibly can, right? And it's like, I personally am going to go to the site and just look at everything there just to see where I might be able to insert myself. But I love the idea of contributing. I love the idea of the T-shirts. So one of the things
being an ambassador, Jenna, is so important. I learned that from my colleague Judy when we were at our first conference together, talking to authors, because you go into bookstores,
right,
and you show up and you're there for an event, and the manager says, hey, Susan is your biggest fan, but she couldn't be here tonight because she broke her leg, and so she's off of work. And I mean, you can say, do you know about Binc? Does she know about Binc? It's just the sharing of information and getting more people aware of who we are and what we do. So we love to have author ambassadors for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna hit you guys up for more bookmarks because I'm running out of bookmarks. So that's a good problem to have. I was and bigger events as well. What is next for you guys? It sounds like you have outreach in a lot of different directions, from dental to mental. So I'm wondering, what kind of creative help are you going to offer next?
Yeah, no, that's a good way to say it. So thank you for that. We hadn't used that tagline yet, so that's good. We're really focused this year on our 30th anniversary. This whole year is focused on expanding not only advocacy. We are going to have a gala in New York in May. We are based in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so we don't have an annual gala. This is going to be a one-time celebration for us. We're thrilled about that. We have our ambassador Amor Tolles and our past ambassador, Ann Patchett, will be there. Emma Straub is going to be the MC. So we are incredibly fortunate to have these advocates in our corner. Right now, that's a lot of what we're really focused on. And then we're always focused on, and you hit the nail on the head when you said this, the best way for folks to learn about us is person to person. So it's those conversations, like whenever you take a cross-country trip with, stopping in that bookstore and saying, hey, do you know about Binc? And a lot of times people say it seems too good to be true. Really, you don't pay it back, and you help us with resources. And that's the great thing about Binc is we do. You don't pay it back. We help you get back up on your feet. And we're able to do that because of the broad support we have from across the industry and across the country, book lovers everywhere, from authors, readers, to booksellers themselves.
Can civilians go to your gala? Asking for
Civilians can go to our gala. We are going to be opening up the ticket sales. I don't have the exact date, but it's soon. We're going to open up ticket sales for the general public. Absolutely.
And when is the date of the gala?
It is May 13th at the Prince George Ballroom in New York City.
Oh, Jenna.
I know. I'm going to be there for Thriller Fest, so that I could just have on a couple of days. That would be so delightful. Really? So, I wasn't asking for myself, of course, but I might just sneak it. One of the things that I loved about what you said, Pam, was it didn't occur to me, but it is so true, is that like libraries, bookstores are really the heartbeat of a community. And when I was first living in Boston, I came here to go to grad school and didn't know anybody. And I would get the mean blues or the mean reds from Breakfast at Tiffany's. And every time I did, I would think, well, I'm safe if I go to a bookstore. There will be other people like me at the bookstore. And that staved off a lot of loneliness. And I know that people at different stages of life really congregate to bookstores to find their people, to find community, to find support. So you're not only supporting individual booksellers and stores as if that weren't enough, but you're supporting whole communities in a sort of outward ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the great things about supporting bookstores and book people is it doesn't stop with them. As we all know, everybody gives back, and bookstores are a great way to give back in their community. Like I said, some of them are even food banks in their local community, but always safe havens and welcome and open to everybody.
And we need that so much right now. Like we need more goodness and more light and more community. Darkness hates community. So thank you for fostering our communities. Do you, either of you, Mary, you haven't had a chance to say that much. Do you want to say about Binc? And then Pam, do you want to kind of give a sort of a closing statement to our audience?
Sure. I just want to remind people from my own experience when I go into stores or when I talk to booksellers, they'll start like looking down or looking away, waiting for the sales pitch. They don't believe or understand that all of our assistance is free. There's no membership fee. You don't have to donate to receive help. Everything is free. Nothing has to be paid back. And we work to pay the bills instead of the person to avoid any tax ramifications. So it truly is free assistance. And that's just so important when people, I can see in their eyes when they start to understand that I'm not there on a sales pitch and they just like, oh my God, now they're ready to hear what we can do for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is a really good reminder. Go ahead.
It's such a great organization. It's kind of, it's just a wonderful place of goodwill that comes out. This has been like an amazing conversation because you just feel the community and you, as Jenna said, you do feel the goodness. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
Well, it's extraordinary because of all the people that come together and want to be, a force for good in their communities. And I think that's the vast majority of people want to be a force for good in their community. And that's what we're here to make sure that those stores are able to continue to be there. And we're hoping to be here for at least another 30 years. That's why we're here. Yeah, that's why we're here. we're here for everybody. We want to be that trusted resource. And if anybody has any questions, please get a hold of us. Let us know how we can help, or if you have questions or ideas or thoughts. We would love that.
I'm going to make a TikTok about this. I just, it gets much more hits if you have a rock and roll song behind it. So I'm going to think of just the right song.
Get the right song. I like it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And everybody remember, go to bincfoundation.org. Tell bookstores when you go in there. It's just such a great thing to do, and you'll feel great for supporting such a great organization. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much, Pam. Thank you, Jenna. And I guess that's a wrap.
Yeah, it is. Caroline, you're going to have to take us off because my thing is not, my little button is not.
I will do it.
Blazers, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you.